a twin tower and Yidida. Japan and Haikuva, Russian, vodka, Vani and Uriana Kanda Pedida. Nula Daini Kada Yidupu, even the Sora Kumadupu. Yenatadamale, Summa Sudetra, Nana, Nana, Vanda
What comes to your mind when you think about Coffee Day?
To me, conversations. A lot of discussions and conversations, because I've done a lot of my album discussions in Coffee Days. 2-3 branches, I forgot which branches, but a lot of conversations.
Anything as of this Coffee Day, we are fine. I don't know about a branch or.
No, that's what conversations. Anything under music, you know, any of our friends or some people under the music label would want to discuss something about the album. We immediately say, okay, let's meet in Coffee Day. We'll have a cup of coffee and sit there for an hour.
That's very true, because it's a very meetings like these can go on for a really long time, especially when it's about music and a project to do with music. So I mean, you can't have somebody coming to you with the menu and getting the food and getting the bill and all the time. You need a little bit of space to yourself. I think the staff at Coffee Day understand that perfectly. So even if you're sitting with one cup of coffee for 1 hour, they don't really mind.
That's good. How does the transition happen, being an RJ, then into music? Totally a complete transition.
It is actually not a transition. I've been singing a little bit ever since I was a kid. I used to sing at school and college festivals and stuff like that. Radio jockeying happened very late in my career. I was first in advertising and then got onto the internet as a content editor and then got into radio. But music in Chennai had happened much before that. There's a musician called Timothy Madhukar who introduced me to Haris Jayaraj. I think that's a big common thing between us. The first time we ever sang, both of us in our careers, was for Haris.
Okay. So that's a trivia to me also.
Yeah, very good, Alu. Thanks. So, but being an RJ, of course, gave it a big boost, because it helps you meet people, it helps you network, and while otherwise you'll have to look for 5-6 different sources to get your demo to the right person, being an RJ puts you in touch with that person directly. So that way it really helped.
Okay.
What do you like, being an RJ or being a singer?
Anything where I can use my voice. Being an RJ, being a singer, I love dubbing. Because it's like acting without having to be in front of the camera. So you can sit up with your feet up with a cup of coffee and act your heart out.
Which requires a lot of talent. Dubbing, I think. Right?
Yes, it does. Especially when you're dubbing for Bombay heroines.
Okay.
Because you have to create dialogues which sit on the lip movement that they've given.
And modulation.
Because sometimes what happens in tricky scenes where you require a lot of emotion, the director gives the actress or actor the leeway to use the language they're comfortable with. So an actress is crying and really sobbing and asking the guy to take her back or something, she would give her entire dialogue in Hindi. So what we do, we sit and craft Tamil dialogues which will go with the lip sync and give the same meaning that she has said. Wow. So it is quite a challenge. I love dubbing, doing voiceovers for ads, singing jingles, anything where I have to use my voice. You're my love boy, da-da-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da. Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You're my love boy, da-da-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da. Ooh, oh, oh. Hey, excuse me, Mr. Kandasamy. Hey, excuse me, Mr. Kandasamy. Or a coffee, kudi po khande. Hota kolda niye todu paare. Hey, excuse me, Mr. Kandasamy. Or a left right bola khande. Slow speed niye odi paare. Hey, autism kadi, MTI body. Unna switch on say it waste. Hachu buldoge, na chicken monkey. Yenna sutta mapona na seafood. Monrode, babe main road. Forty, foda, the Arogya milk jingle. I don't know. Can you sing it? It's ta 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 Anbendral Arogya Anbagatalaatum Nalam Yendral Arogya Nenjodu Pookum Ta ta Nalavela I sang it for Gopi Sundar and I think it's probably the highest note I've ever touched in my musical career, which I couldn't touch even now.
And how did you get into art?
Through this person called Sharath Chandra. He was, when I was working in O&M, Ogilvy and Meetha Advertising, he was a client servicing director there. And when he moved to Radio Mirchi as group head here, this was almost 8 months to a year before the channel even launched. So I was one of the first people he called. You know how it is, when they move to a place, they try and dig up contacts, you know, they found promising earlier. So I joined on without knowing what I was going to do, because I completely bought into the trust that I had with Sharath Chandra. So it was like a month before we launched that they told me that I was going to be an RJ. I never thought that was what was going to happen, because I was in client servicing, and even with Sifi.com I was on internet portals editing, never anything creative. So I think during the course of my many interviews with heads at Times, somebody said that she can probably use her voice on it. Just a month before they launched, I found out what I was going to do.
Suddenly, 2 songs from all of
Russ has this actually, because he's the one who gave me.
Okay.
Anyway.
A lot of people want to ask Harris this question. A lot of male singers.
This is not like a doubt. This is more like how do you give anyway. My background is a little different from most people, most aspiring singers you would call. Because now I'm talking Tamil. Yeah. Now I'm the IT actually. I worked in IT for 6 years. Basically, background musical family, because my parents are singers, my dad is a composer, my grandma was a well-known playback singer in Malayalam. Basically, I'm a Mallu. So, on the background, but never did I think I'll take music as my profession. Culturals, I'm just starting right from there so that it clears all the doubts.
So that nobody has anything to ask you.
Anything to ask you. So of course, we'll have a conversation about the process. So anyway, Cultures Lounge, initially I was actually a singer only for the band. I did my stats in Royal College, that's when everything started. Till then I had no connection to music. So my background was music, family was into music and all that. I was only into sports. So all that happened and culturals started going left, right, center, then slowly started winning prizes and all. So in the process I picked up this instrument called bass guitar. And that still is my first love, without a doubt. So bass guitar, just slowly people started noticing and whatnot, and that's how I got into films. And people started noticing and people started referring and all, I started playing for recordings. So suddenly one fine day, something hit my head. I was like, dude, I started off as a singer, what am I doing with voice types, So then I was still into IT. I was working for Verizon Data Services. So on the time, what I did was I took a couple of months off. I lied at office. Office manager I said I have a horrible back problem. Actually, I have a back problem, but I exploited that reason and I took medical leave. I sat at home and I worked my demo. Nane bass guitar demo panna, voice demo panna. So on the voice demo, Harris sir poi same. But by then I had already played one song for Harris sir.
Oh, okay.
Varayo Varayo no part other one.
Oh, yeah.
I played the bass guitar in that song.
Okay.
So that's why I got introduced to Harris sir. So when he heard my voice demo, probably in under 1 week, I think I got a call. And I should thank Suchi for that because I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, I gave you his email ID.
She only gave his email ID. But again, time no irukku. It just so happened he was looking out for a new voice, and that so happened my demo reached him on time. Okay. Ellam just fell in place. So I got a call. So I didn't know whether it was for bass guitar or for voice. So I went there with obviously a little shaky attitude and all that. So entered the console room. He was sitting there with KV Anand sir, Madan Karki there. So appada sort of I knew, okay, it's definitely not for bass because lyric sheet was right in front of me and all that. So appadina it started. That's how the journey started for me. But by then I had already sung one song as a playback singer, one solo for Tamil.
Okay.
Very good friend of mine and for Suchi also. And then extensively I worked for Tamil extensively as a bass player, not as a singer. So INR was the first movie that I made my debut as a playback singer. But Harris sir only obviously took my voice out to the world. Without a doubt. I think it's more of the brand thing that Harris sir has, his personality and his fan following. It's got that reach, without a doubt. I think I am just very lucky and fortunate that I sang Enamuvedo, and within a span of 2 weeks, Prabhudeva sir had heard Enamuvedo and he said, I like this voice, shall we use this voice in my movie, which is Engame Cup. So I never knew this would have this sort of a thing. So thanks to everyone who supported me, thanks to all my friends, co-singers, without having any personal grudge that how dare you, that face me, you're into singing and all that. They've always, stood by me.
That's what you think.
At least let me be happy with my voice. Anyway, but I have a very healthy gang of friends. That's how it happened.
Because I believe there's like a lot required to sort of maintain your voice, and there are times when you have a sore throat but you still have to do a show. And
Yeah, I think the more you become obsessed about having to maintain your voice and that you can't drink cold water and I think your body kind of understands that and it says, okay, now I'm really going to screw with you, and the throat gets screwed up more often than you expect it to. I learned this from Balu Uncle with SPV sir, and he says, please drink cold water, please eat ice cream, please do things that you feel may not be okay for you, because your body needs to get used to every kind of environment and intake of food or whatever, because that is what will keep it rugged and in good condition. The minute you say you don't drink cold water for a year and then you drink cold water, 100% you'll fall sick. You get a cold or a cough or something. It's better your body is always used to various kinds of, and I truly believe that.
Your favorite song? Is there anything that you felt that you should have done that?
Which I haven't sung? Many songs like that.
I know, but anything
I'm an extremely jealous person. I listen to every album and I think, I wish I'd sung that song. Lots of songs. This one song in Vagai Sudava called Sara Sara Sarakata. I always wish I had sung that or something like that. I wish there was something like that. Vidigalil Oru Vaanavil in Devathirmagal. Those are some really lovely songs.
A lot of songs.
Quite a few songs. Give me some time to think, but these two come straight top of my mind.